Let's say that you have recently been promoted into the people manager role, and it is your first line leadership role. You're very excited. You want to prove everyone that why you are the best and you are the chosen one amongst all other people who were in the race. It is also because that you worked very hard in your individual contributor role. You have been able to achieve your numbers. You are able to achieve certain important objectives that were difficult for many other people to achieve in their tenure. Not only that, you are also liked by your managers, superiors, and you also have earned a lot of rewards and recognition in your tenure. And that is one of the reasons that your management has trusted upon you when they were looking out for some managers in order to expand more business and want to utilize your experience as an incentive. They have now promoted you to lead the team. You are fully excited and you want to give your 100%, in fact more than 100%. And in order to do that, you do your best. You go to your every teammate, you put your energy, you put your heart, soul to ensure that not only that everyone is successful, but as a team you achieve the best objectives available or given to you. And after 3 months, you realize that you are going everywhere, you are doing more than your capacity, but eventually your team is overwhelmed. They are not very happy. They are in fact frustrated, and they also have a lot of conflicts within them. They are reporting to your line manager that how you are becoming the most irritating person in the team because you want to be at every place. They say that our manager is breathing on our neck. Well, if you are having some of these symptoms, don't be surprised. This is how a lot of managers have undergone a situation of change in their role from an individual contributor to a people manager role. In this video, we are going to learn a lot in terms of what challenges the first line leaders face and what are the areas that they need to work on so that they become effective managers. And as the topic suggests, that the world is full of poor managers, because a lot of managers, when they were promoted, your boss and their boss and their boss, they were not too sure from where to begin, and they just learned certain skills as they went on with their role. And no wonder they were not able to sharpen and develop the leadership skills that they are supposed to. And no wonders that people who have come under them over the years, they have learned the same skills. My name is Arun. I'm a leadership coach, and in this video we are going to learn what are the challenges, why there are so many poor managers in this world, and what all you can do in your role in spite of all the challenges and pressures that you are going to face to become an effective people manager, first line leader, and becoming an inspiring leader for many people and future generations who are going to work under you. And also don't forget to like and subscribe this channel and share your thoughts in form of comments if you like the video and the content that I'm going to share with you. Now let's understand that why the world is filled with poor managers. So let's start from the beginning. Traditionally, a lot of companies, when they promote their first time leaders, they look into the aspect of how a person is performing in his or her current role. And based on that performance as one of the parameters, and also that how the person is liked by people around them, they promote the person. Now, once the promotion is done, most of the companies, they leave it on the manager to decide and take care of their team. Very few companies have the patience, and there is a structure in their system to help people to get trained, mentored, and coached how to lead a team. A lot of people are sent to be on their own in deciding what to do next. Now, in order of such a situation, if you are not having one common ingredient that is called emotional intelligence, that means if you don't love people, if you don't like building teams, if you don't want to help people in solving their problem, if you are not the person who think about how to inspire people, particularly when they are demotivated, when they are not able to achieve results, and you are made as a people manager, it's going to be a disaster. Because if you are shining as a bright manager but your team is incompetent or is not doing well, you are the worst manager that a company can ever have. Or we can say something like this, that once you put the hat of a people manager, it is not about you, it's all about your team. How you make them successful, how you create new bright stars, how you delegate the tasks to the team, how you can make them more competent, and eventually your core goal is to make the best out of them. But if you don't love them, if you don't like them, if you don't have that emotional connect with them, but you are just rational, you are not going to be a successful people manager. But let me take you a little more deeper in giving you the aspect that why it is happening. It is happening because a lot of people who are, when they are working as an individual contributor, they work very hard and they work as an all-rounder in thinking and creating opportunities, in ensuring that they are able to meet their objectives, and they go all around, they work very hard, and that is where their rational quotient, or we say that their thinking on solving problems, is extremely high. But now you are leading a team when you come into a people manager role. This is where your emotional quotient, that is your EQ or EI, that is emotional intelligence, has to work very strong. If you don't have a genuine interest of helping people, making them achieve their objectives, solving their problems so that they can become competent, you might fail. And this is the first thing that should be nurtured and developed at the time of selection or at the time of coaching and development by your respective managers. This is the primary reason that a lot of managers, they remain in rational thinking. They feel that they are an all-rounder and they want to achieve everything by virtue of their hard work, and they tend to repeat more of the same what has got them here. And that is why there is a very famous quote by Marshall Goldsmith which says, "What got you here won't get you there." That means now your work environment is changing, your situations are changing. Now you have to work and think like a parent, that how you are going to take care of your kids, how you are going to develop them, how you are going to be unbiased. You have to solve the conflicts. So if those managers who were not nurtured or developed like this over a period of time, they are definitely going to fail, and definitely a lot of leaders who are going to come under them will learn the same thing. They will repeat the same thing, because there is no curriculum that teaches you leadership. There is no cheat sheet that you can read and you can start practicing it, because we are dealing with humans. You are dealing with people, both at the level of stakeholders who are your peer group, and then your managers, your superiors, and your teammates who contribute to your success. So the first thing is, you really need to know your people well. In the next part, we are going to learn few tips that you need to start practicing it with immediate effect if you really want to become a successful people manager. If you like the content, share your thoughts below. Now let's look at the first important thing that you should be doing in becoming an effective people leader is know your people and understand them. And in order to do that, you have to understand the past, the present, and the future of the people that you are leading. Let's imagine that you start reading a book by chapter 7. Do you think that you will be able to understand what the author has to say, since you have not read the first initial 6 chapters, or probably you have not understood the basics that were mentioned in the initial chapters, and you start with chapter 7? What will happen? You will never understand the meaning of that book. Exactly same thing happens when you are dealing with people. When you are dealing with people, don't go by what they are showing to you in their present form. You should go back and check what has been their history, what type of companies they have worked in the past, why they left those companies, why they have joined this company, what kind of achievements they have been carrying, what kind of challenges that they have been having in the past due to which they are not performing, how they can become even a better manager or a better successful sales or a professional that they are in. So that can only be possible once you know what are their past history, and then likewise try to figure out what are their future aspirations, what they want to be, who they want to be, by when they want to be, what is it that is blocking them. And for that, you really need to use certain tools. So for example, you go through their resumes, go through their last appraisal cycles, talk to their previous managers, understand the history of their previous organizations, what kind of culture they were working in, what prompted them that they were able to be a good achiever or a poor achiever. All these factors that you have to do in the first 30, 60 and 90 days to know your people very, very well, by meeting them, by working along with them, by spending time with them, by doing one-on-ones. That is what is your role. Your role is not just go and start executing the work as you were doing in the past. So in nutshell, first know your people very, very, very well, because if you do this very well, you will be able to understand that what are their motives, what are their values, what are their preferences that will help you to generate relationship with them. As I said, if you don't have good intent in helping people, you are not going to achieve the leadership role. The second factor that you really need to look into when you are managing a team for the first time, try to know the people completely from their personal and professional perspective, which means that you should not be only focusing till the time they are at a workplace and what they are doing. Look at what are they also as a person in their personal life, only to certain limited aspects, because going too much into a personal life will also be not taken as a good step. But at least to know that what are their passions, what are their goals that they want to achieve personally. So let's say for example, someone who is aiming to buy a new house, that means he or she will work very hard to ensure that if they take a loan or a housing loan, they need to pay that, and for that they will have to work very hard. Or for example, somebody is a fitness freak and he or she has signed up for a gym, but if a project has come, the person is not able to go to the gym on his regular routine because the deadlines are becoming very, very demanding. Now, if you know that a person is getting overwhelmed, he is getting frustrated with his teammates, or he is not cooperating, there could be some underlying reason at the back end which is disturbing this person. Now, if you know the person thoroughly in your initial 30, 60 and 90 days of one-on-ones, you can easily map out what is bothering this person. And by keeping an open door policy, you allow the person to have that kind of a work-life balance and help them in achieving both the goals. This will help you to become a great leader by knowing your person thoroughly rather than only knowing it superficially. And that is one of the reasons, if you only talk work, 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 people say that my boss is very transactional. He is only relatively thinking about work, but they don't think about that I am also a human being. Imagine a reverse situation that I talk about it, my boss is so good that he allows me to have my own space in my own areas and he doesn't intervene, and he knows that. That is the best part, that he knows that what I need. And I really want to work for such a manager. Even he goes in any organization at any place, I always want to go and work for him. Now, see the reverse of feedback from the previous manager to this type of manager. So choose where you want to be and who you want. The third tip that I would like to give, be yourself even if you are a first-time manager. A lot of first-time managers have this kind of an excitement and urgency that they want to prove that they know everything, and they really want to move and shake the world because they are highly enthused and motivated, excited to deliver results. In such a situation, what happens? You burn out very fast. You push your people very hard to achieve the goals. But for a minute, chill, relax, and think. You are a human being. You are not a Superman, or you are not an AI or a chat GPT that you know and you have all the answers to every question that comes to you. That is the reason, be the same human being as you were before, not a Superman just because you have been interested with becoming a people leader. This means that when somebody comes and you don't have a solution, sit together, work closely with them, and see that how collectively you can find out the solution. And don't try to become a solution generator, that you have the solution for every problem. Because if you tend to do that, then people will start coming to you again and again because they know that this is a solution provider. Whereas your role is to make them think and also develop their mind that they can start solving the problem by their own. Otherwise, they will become completely dependent on you, and that is not a good sign. Thus, it means you need to develop relationship with your people and make them feel that you are one among them. You may not have all the solutions in your pocket, but collectively, as good colleagues, as good professionals, you can solve problems together, and that is why you are seen as a great leader. Otherwise, you will be isolated and you will make your team dependent on you, which is not a good sign. The next step that I would like to highlight for a new manager is have unstructured and less formal communication meeting. I'm sure being a people manager role, you need to bring a lot of feedback. You need to also bring a lot of one-on-one meetings. You have to send emails, documentation, and these are all very formal, structured tools and methods that you should be using in encouraging that there is a hygiene in your operation. But likewise, you also need to find out opportunities where you can have some unstructured meetings or informal chats with your teammates so that they become closer to you, so that they should think that they can be open to you. If they are not open to you, it means that you are a very formal manager. You are not in an informal environment, particularly people who are managing teams remotely. Most of the transactions are very, very formal and cut to cut. Think about it. What are the other ways that you can be informal with your team that brings more openness, that builds more trust, and people will come back to you in sharing their problems? The whole idea is that by having a chat with somebody on a corridor or in a coffee break or going out for a walk for 5 minutes in the office cafeteria and not talking about particularly business or work, but talking about general things. What are their likings, what are they going and what are they building up next week, how they are shaping up on their personal side, what is it that they want to work on, and if you can be of some help. It's about lending your ear and lending your shoulder to your teammate that they can feel comfortable and relaxed and open up so that they can get more closer to you. Ultimately, leadership is all about building relationship with your team, and then you will see what they will do for you. Of course, you need to help them when they are having certain shortcomings, but you would only know once they are open to you. If they are not open to you, you might be doing only the formal communication, and formal communication will always remain very, very transactional. That is why a lot of companies, when they do psychometric assessment, they want to see the social skill, the empathy, the management of impulsive nature and anxiety in a leader. If they are able to maintain that, I'm sure these leaders are highly successful. Well, I can go on and on and on in giving you a lot of tips, but the crux of the matter is, if you are keen to be successful, don't jump into the role just like what you were doing with your previous skill sets. Leadership is a skill. It is not a role or not a spot or not a designation. It's a skill that you have to develop. And one of the core part of that skill is how you lead team, how you manage team, by bringing your emotional intelligence part, by knowing your team through empathy, through social skills, in knowing them very well. If you are not doing this, you're definitely gonna fail. And in many companies, when these things are not taken care of at the beginning stages, if they are not mentored, coached, trained and hand-holded properly, you will see the outcomes could be the manager sees a lack of communication with everybody, and that leads to lack of trust. When there is a lack of trust, you see the feedbacks takes the shape of becoming harsh or vague, and when that happens, people are overburdened. They work very hard and they are all over the place, but the productivity is not coming. And when the productivity will not come, you will see that people leave. Attrition sets in. When attrition sets in, the manager starts doubting himself whether he has really taken this role and it is a mess on him, and was he good in his previous role. So he starts doubting himself. If you really want to come out of this, get a coach. Ask your manager to help you to become a great leader. Tell them how they can do the right things in the marketplace, in the market situations, in the people situations, that they can get better by taking feedbacks and feed forwards. Well, I hope this video would have given you some insights about why the world is filled with poor managers and what are the core reasons behind it, and what you can do at your end to become a great, inspiring leader. I look forward to your feedback and comments on this video, and stay tuned to Arun Thukral on this channel on leadership and people development. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching me.